Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It is Wonder Series Wednesday, and my phone is reminding me of that right this minute. I'm Denise Stiegel. I'm the CEO and curator here at livinghealthylist.com. We are your go to platform, health and wellness platform, when it comes to your questions on health, wellness, personal development, and bringing a little bit more fun into your life. So the Wonder Series is a weekly interview series. Very most often, it's a Wonder interview series. Generally, on the first week of the month, you get me. Hello, I'm Denise. And essentially, my goal here today is to introduce what we're going to be talking about all month, because each month we focus on either a different topic, a different area, whether it's health, wellness, bringing more fun into life. And sometimes, when it comes to our health and wellness and our health and happiness, there's so many aspects that we need to focus on. And sometimes it's really hard. You can't focus on everything at once. So we really do try to focus each month on one thing at a time. So I'm really excited. This month's going to be really fun. This is going to be a little bit different because my background, of course, is food and beverage and nutrition. And I'm also a certified life coach. So I'm a certified health coach. I'm a certified life coach. I have all of that great background. Part of what I do as CEO and curator, though, is to interview and to find new experts in different areas of health and wellness who can bring you something that you've either been wondering about or you didn't even know you needed to know. And so today, we're going to talk a little bit about connecting and communication. And of course, connecting looks very different than it did just a few years ago. We spend a lot of time on social media, don't we? And online, we get our news online. We're attached to our phones, so you can be connected pretty much as if you're awake, you can be connected. We're connecting online in Facebook groups, or on some of the different platforms, whether it's Instagram or what's the other one, Clubhouse. We're doing all of these things to connect to people. But I really wonder if we're communicating with those people. We've been so out of touch, and luckily we're getting back on track where we can actually physically go out and see people and sit across from them rather than here online. And of course, here I'm connecting with you, and I hope I'm going to be communicating something to you as well. Because so much of what we do is virtual, and I think a lot of that will continue. We do need to understand how to communicate who we are, what we do, what we want, what we need, or how we can help others. So let's talk about true connecting by communicating who we are and what we are all about. And of course, we know there are different types of communication. The nonverbal communication is one. I'm kind of bored. How many times have you been on a Zoom call and you see there somebody like do 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 do? They may be paying attention, but their nonverbal communication is saying to you that they're bored, that they're not paying attention. And so that's one of the things that we do need to pay attention to when we are on a Zoom call or on an interview, because those nonverbal cues, whether it's an eye roll or a yawn or you kind of look bored. Actually, this is something that I tend to do a lot when I'm watching TV or, kind of doing something that I'm not really all that interested in. And so that's something that I have to pay attention to. If I'm sitting watching television with my husband and he starts talking to me, if I'm still doing this, I don't look like I'm engaged or I'm paying attention, even if I am. So those nonverbal communications are one of those things that we do need to pay attention to. It's that body language. But most of us struggle with verbal communication. I am absolutely not one of those people. I'm very confident. I feel very comfortable speaking in front of an audience, in front of people. But I have to say, that was not always the case. It took years of practice. And sometimes practice is just, you got to go out and do it. To feel comfortable getting in front of an audience and speaking my truth, speaking my mind, and sharing my message. Especially when it comes to being in front of an audience, maybe you're not going to be a public speaker. That's great. But maybe you have to speak one time at a church group or at a meeting at work? How many times have you been at a meeting at work and you had a great idea, but you didn't say anything? And it could have been an amazing idea that could have taken, the company or your business or your career to that next level. And I think that's one of those things that are really, really important, is how to communicate. And part of it is confidence, but I think the communication, if you know what you want to say, communicating is so much easier. So what is your message? That's a real important piece. Is you can't just come on and communicate with somebody if you don't know what you want to tell them, or you don't know what you want to share. Think about so that's in front of an audience or a group of people. But what about on those one-on-one conversations? How do you communicate your wants, needs, desires, or again, how you can help someone when you're in a one-on-one situation? A lot of us in business, entrepreneurs, we do a lot of networking. And I know back in the day when I first started networking, a lot of people would come over and they'd hand you their business card, and they thought that they were doing great networking because they got 10 business cards out to 10 different new people. But that's not really communicating. That might be connecting. You've connected with that person in some way, shape, or form, and you've given them your business card, but you haven't communicated who you are and what you do or how you can help me. So that's really, really important, is on that one-on-one. How about when you want to ask your boss for a raise? How comfortable are you in doing that? Now, that's something you obviously have to plan a little bit before you just walk into your boss's office and say, hey, I want a raise. There has to be some communication, because the boss is going to ask you, why should I give you a raise? Well, you have to be prepared to say, I deserve a raise because of X, Y, and Z. Communicate that well, communicate that very clearly, and I bet you any money, you will get that raise. So what about sorry, I didn't like to. I hate to use that horrible phrase, which I just did again. So anyway, I'm going to get back on track here. What about when you are talking with your spouse or your family members, whether it's your mom or your daughter or your son or your grandparent? How clearly are you communicating your wants, needs, desires, or how you can help them in whatever it is that they are doing or they're struggling with? I will tell you that being able to communicate with your family, especially your spouse or your partner, that is vital for your health and your happiness. Healthy relationships really are about communicating. They're obviously about more than just communication. There's respect, mutual respect, and understanding. But when it comes to communicating, if you're not communicating what you need from your partner, then your happiness level goes down the toilet. And here at Living Healthy List, our goal is to help you live that healthy, happy lifestyle that you have been dreaming of. And this is one of those pieces that I think we tend to forget about when it comes to happiness, is how communicating appropriately can actually help us to achieve that happiness. So every month, we talk about something different. Obviously, we're talking about communication this month. And I'm really excited. I have 3 guests that we're going to be talking to who are very, very unique in what they do and how they fit into this communication, this topic of communication. Next week, my guest speaker or my guest interviewee is Mr. Vince Stevenson. Vince is a speaker, he's a trainer, he is an author. He's also the CEO, and get this, CEO of the College of Public Speaking in London. And he's also a co-author of mine in this book, The Successful Body, which I'm really, really proud of. If you haven't had a chance to pick this up yet, it's $19.99 on Amazon. And truly, this is something that I participated in because I believe in the concept. I love all of the different topics that we touch on in the book, The Successful Body. So please, please, please go on Amazon.com and pick up this book. It actually says it's created by Eric Severson, and then there are 32 other authors. I am one of them, and Vince Stevenson is one of the other authors. So I'm really excited to talk to him next week. Um, and then in the few weeks that follow, we're going to be speaking to someone who talks about connection and communication in a very different way. This is Norman Plotkin. And Norman is a certified clinical hypnotist. No, sorry, hypnotherapist. And his goal is to help people to get natural solutions and answers to their life and health issues. Again, connecting to self and communicating in a very different way. I think here that connection piece is really important, but we're not connecting to others. His goal is to help you connect to you. And then, of course, his mission is to help you connect the dots to understand the mysterious messages from your subconscious programming that keeps you stuck. And we all have those, whether we call it what do we call it? Our negative self-talk, or the kind of like the angel and the devil telling you two different things. Those subconscious conversations that you have with yourself can absolutely be detrimental or very positive when it comes to your health and wellness and your health and happiness. And so understanding those and connecting to those is really, really important. And then finally, we're going to be speaking with Lisa Erickson, and I'm really excited to speak with Lisa. She is an energy worker who specializes in women's energetics and sexual trauma healing. Again, a connection of a different way and communicating in a different way. Again, it's to help you help yourself. Her work is primarily chakra based and incorporates guided visual and somatic exercises for gently healing and transforming your emotional patterns. So again, it's communicating and it's connecting when it comes to you. And when you are completely connected to yourself and understand who you are and what your story is, one, you can change the outcome of your story, but you can also communicate better to people who are around you, who may not be understanding what you're struggling with. And sometimes we don't even know what we're struggling with until we speak to somebody like Lisa or work with somebody like Lisa or Eric, Lisa or Norman, or even Vince. So sometimes looking at yourself from a different perspective is really essential. Essentially, these are my three amazing experts that we're going to be talking to this coming month, in the month of July. I can't believe it's already July. And I'm really excited to help you to continue to grow and to learn and to become that person who you always wanted to be. It's never too late to grow. It's never too late to learn. So I guess my question for you is, who would you like to be? What would you like to do? What would you like to have if your story was gone? If time and money or your situation, your story, if none of that mattered, who would you be and what would you do? So I'm going to leave you here with that, and I will be back here next week at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I know I was a little early today, but 12 p.m. Central Standard Time next Wednesday, the 14th of July, with my friend Vince Stevenson. And so until then, healthy living, happy life. I will see you then. Have a great week, everyone.